How to help youth baseball players throw correctly. Fixing the low elbow thrower. When you coach rec ball, such as Little League, some of your younger players will have not learned how to throw a ball correctly. One of the more difficult throwing motions to fix is the low elbow throw. The best way to fix this is to not develop it in the first place. Parents who play catch with their kids often demonstrate the wrong throwing method because they don't want to hurt the child by throwing the ball hard, so they drop their elbow and slightly toss it. Very young children see how you throw and emulate it. They learn motion primarily by observation and copy. If you want to teach your son to throw, go get some rocks and toss those suckers into the lake or something of that nature. This is a good example of how not to play catch with your son.
All right, another one just like that. Right in the old bucket. Good toss. See, that's much better. That was good. You had your shoulder pointed, you kept your eyes on your target. Let's do it again. Watch me. Just like that one.
The durability of the Volkswagen Passat. Pass down something he will be grateful for.
Here's a grandpa teaching his toddler grandson how to throw. Notice he stops to demonstrate the correct throwing method and encourages hard throws and uses lots of praise. It's certainly more about fun with grandpa, but he didn't miss an opportunity to demonstrate how to throw correctly.
And throw. Okay? Step and throw. Step and throw. Step and throw. Good job. Do this again. Do this again. Ready? All right.
When throwing a baseball, the player's elbow should cross at or above the shoulder. The further the throw, the higher the elbow typically is. What can you do to help that youth player that keeps the elbow down? After all, you can't go back in time to fix past mistakes. There are two primary methods I've found very helpful. One, use your arm or a bat or some other thing to create a barrier. Tell the player that he needs to throw so that his elbow doesn't hit your arm or the bat. Once they do start to throw with the elbow up, they'll shock themselves with how much harder that they just threw a baseball.
There, you kept your elbow up there. Put my arm here. Your elbow can't hit my arm. Okay? All right, ready? And go. That's it. That's the glove, right? It's okay. Ready? And go. You want to get out of the way? No. I just sent him in the head. It is. Right out and go. But you're throwing harder already.
The second thing I would do is to teach them the thumbs down motion. If their thumb is under the ball as they bring it back, it's very difficult for them to then drop the elbow. These two options together do wonders. The next key will be to repeat this motion over and over correctly enough times to recreate a new muscle memory. Muscle memory is that part of your brain that never forgets how to ride a bike. It took a lot to learn how to ride the bike at first, but once you learn, your brain does all the work without you ever having to think about it. The same goes with bad throwing mechanics. The brain learned wrong, and if they don't think about it, they'll revert back. Repetition of the correct motion is needed enough times to rewrite the connections in the brain that tell you how to throw a baseball. The longer and more often that the player threw wrong, the longer and harder it will be to fix it. It can be done, but without also training the parent or the person who can play catch with them or throw rocks into lakes, they won't succeed because as a coach you simply don't have that much time to dedicate to one player. If you are the parent watching this, then you probably have the time to work at it with a lot of patience. There is no point being this guy.
What's that? I want to understand something. I'm out here spending my time. What the hell was that? You do that again, and you're punished.
Okay. I'm gonna let you throw to me. Okay. Good throw. Good throw. Good throw. I want you to play ball right, okay? I want you to step and throw. Okay? Step and throw. Step and throw. Step and throw. Good job. That's my fault. Good throw. Do it again. Do this again. Ready? All right.